There we go. We're live.
Hi, welcome to BB Breakdown 902. I'm Melissa, and my partner in crime, Lindsay, is currently uploading our links so that you can join in live on Twitter and in Facebook. For anybody that's joining us live, thanks for tuning in every week. Anyone joining us after the fact, thanks for watching our video after the fact. We love the support, and we love talking Big Brother. So as you can see, we're East Coast Canadian girls that come to you every week just to talk Big Brother. So Lynn's give me the go ahead when we're live on both streams, and then I'll get started.
I've done everything.
Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna break down this week the Final Four, how we led to becoming this Final Four, and then we will talk spoilers and talk about what we think that the person that won the veto is going to do with the veto and who we think that they're going to keep. So anyways, this week it started with Kevin putting the person that won the veto on the block, and then Kevin wins veto, which is great for my team, and he takes Ika off the block and puts Dylan up because he wants Demetrius out because he thinks that Demetrius is his only challenge in Final Four and Final Three. So he's trying to get Demetrius out. Doesn't think that Karen is going to vote out her ally Dylan, showing her, I guess, her true colors for her hatred for that Kevin Martin, as the hashtag would go. And she ends up voting Dylan out. Are you surprised with Karen voting out her ally Dylan? Because there is some talk on Twitter. I was in a little Twitter conversation with the Pax Bros mom, actually. She's on Twitter at Mama Pax. We'll shout out to her. And I was in some discourse with her on Twitter just about how if Karen had have kept Dylan, she would have been a strong contender to win the game if she and Dylan went to Final Two. Do you think it was smart for her to vote out Dylan, or do you think it was smart for her to keep Demetrius and Ika?
No, I think it was a silly move to vote out Dylan just because she would have won over Dylan 1,000 times over. I don't understand her. I think she's just too emotionally tied to this game at this point, and I don't understand the move.
Do you think it's that would you be doing the same if you went into the house with all these veterans? That because she's a super fan, she's claimed it over and over again.
Yeah, but Dimitri is not a super fan. Like, he's not a vet. He's a newbie, so who cares?
Yeah, but her whole her whole like argument for keeping him was that she thinks he's more deserving than Dylan to win Big Brother. And right now she knows that she openly admits that she knows she's not a contender to win the game. Well, that's what she thinks anyway. And so if she knows that she's not a contender to win the game, she wants people left in the game that are most deserving to be a winner. So that was her rationalization for keeping Demetrius. I don't think it was the right choice personally.
I just don't understand. Like, I understand what you're saying. I agree, but at the same time, like, and maybe that's been her strategy the whole time, but you also came here and you left your family for 3 months to not win. Like, I just, like, this is my thing. Like, you're this close, you can taste it. Like, it's human nature. Like, you're gonna want it, even if you're like, well, maybe I can't. But like, it just seems like a silly move on her part. But I don't know. People do crazy things when you're and like I think she likes Demetrius and Ika a lot. I think she likes them a lot, but and granted, Dylan was never going to win, but she basically just handed a check to Ika and Dimitri.
Yeah, I know. I I don't know. Like the thing is that keeping this strong of a duo in the game, this close to the end of the game, when there's very few competitions left, and Ika is strong socially, and she, in her season, she did win an HOH. We haven't seen her win anything up until now. But it's possible she can win things because she did it in her own season. Just it hasn't been working out for her so well this season. And Demetrius, as we all know, is a comp beast. So why would you keep somebody that is strategically has won this many competitions? Why would you keep him around? Know that the final HOH, two parts of that is strong, like physical and endurance. Two parts of it. The last part is questions when they're on the scale, but like I don't know. I don't see the rationalization here. I think her chances of winning against Dylan would have been monumentally higher, as Dylan, just like her, relied on laying low and playing a laid back kind of as social as they can get game, because Dylan only really won one competition, and so did Karen at the very
But
beginning.
from like a viewer standpoint, I'm not complaining because it's been entertaining to watch. Like oh, they kept in the good players, like stuff like that. So that like I would have like I'd be annoyed if it was like Kevin, Karen, and Dylan, and like so for that reason I'm happy. But like I mean I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I mean it's inevitable that like some damage is gonna happen very soon.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I guess we'll just go ahead here. We're going to go into Spoilerville because we both know that Ika, or we all know that Ika stayed. So we're going to just fast forward to the HOH comp that we haven't seen yet, and who wins that, and then who ultimately wins the final veto of the season. So you don't want to hear story. Thanks for tuning in for 5 minutes.
You're funny.
Well, so Demetrius ends up winning this HOH that's all about making connections with like past HOHs, past vetoes, past things that have happened in the game. And as we all know, the person that has been studying the most in the house, because he's not really had like strong social connections with the people left, is Kevin. So he's playing this lone wolf game now at the last half of it, and talking up in the DR how it's 4 against 1, it's 3 against 1, I'm all by myself, I gotta win everything, you know, if I want to stay. He's playing like this underdog edit up in the diary room, and all he's doing in the house now is studying. So Kevin really has this huge advantage going forward, knowing all the questions in terms of like what day things happened, who has been evicted, who said what, who did what. And so really he has the advantage in this HOH comp, and Demetrius ends up winning it because Kevin can't compete. So I'm interested to see how it played out, because Ika was in the contending spot for it before HOH cut last episode. I'm interested to see how close it was. Karen didn't see answering anything right for her, just furthering the fact that she's probably going to end up as number 2. Everybody's going to drag her to number 2, and if they don't, they're ridiculous. But yeah, so Demetrius wins, and then on feeds we see and we hear that Nikki Graham comes in the house for the BB Can Awards to get everybody dressed in predicted. Yeah, which is exciting because Gary couldn't obviously do it because he was part of this season this year. Well, I mean, they could have had him back, but it would have been, I think, kind of weird as he was a contender in this.
Were you surprised they went Nikki and not Tim?
Yeah, because Tim's not like a fashionista. No offense, Tim. You got style, but you're not like the fashionista enough role to come in here and be able to say, you wear this, you wear that, that looks good together. Oh yes, like, and it would have been nice if they had to have them come back together though, for Tim to grill the final house guests about game. Like one could have dressed them and then the other one could have grilled them. I would have liked to seen that. That would have been kind of cool, I think.
That's true.
Because we know from social media that Tim is coming back to Canada for finale. He's doing like a little cross-country kind of tour with his partner. They're coming up from Australia and they're doing like a little traveling here, and they're going to finale too as well, from what I can tell on social media. So it would have been nice to have them both back, but you know, it's probably that prevented the both of them coming back because they're probably being paid to come back in some form of the matter. So
Sure.
I'm not sure that they could afford both people to come back, considering this season the vets that return probably paid a little more
Well, at
than
this
that.
point, Nikki would probably stay, would she not? Like, is she still in Canada?
Oh yeah, she's staying for finale for sure. Nikki
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Yeah. And what were we saying? Oh, the BB Can Award. So yeah, I'm excited to see like how that plays out and how she interacts with Ika, because if you've been following Nikki Graham on Twitter, she's kind of like beginning anyway that she's kind of a little fearful of Ika and that she would have been fearful of her in the house. So I'm kind of interested to see the interactions with Ika and how that all plays out, and it'll be fun. The BB Can Awards are always fun. So
They are.
yeah, so it's nice that Ika gets to see like all the moments, and hopefully it gets revealed how loved she is this season. It probably is revealed somewhat from like the house or the audience cheering and stuff, but just when they get out, it's going to be nice for Demetrius and Ika to see that they were so well received.
Yeah, for sure. I think Ika has an idea that she's been well received, or at least I think so. She
Yeah.
seems really like I've enjoyed her this season a lot more.
Well, yeah. What was it? I think it was yesterday. Sarah Miller from BB Can 2 was saying it was a really great quote that she made up about Ika, how in season 2 she was an icon, and now after season 5 she's a legend. I thought that was a good way of putting it, because her game, she had that iconic moment in season 2, but that's as far as her game went really. And this season she's dominated it, and as in many seasons we've watched a Big Brother, it's kind of sad when this player that's had so much influence and so much gameplay all season doesn't end up making it to the end, and the winner that you end up having isn't a true, in my opinion, isn't a true reflection of the season. I mean, if Demetrius wins, yes, that'll be great. I think he's played hard, but a lot of his decisions have been Ika's. And if Kevin wins, like he's on my team, so I'm happy about that. But it's just like I don't feel like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that people are going to disagree with us in the chat room, maybe, that he's been
I feel like if Kevin wins, I wouldn't be. I'd be the only person I'd be disappointed if winning would be Karen, and that's not going to happen. I do think Kevin has been somewhat impressive in the last couple weeks, in the sense that like when he's had to go, he goes, and he's been kind of riding solo for a long time. And I think a lot of his speech to the jury members will be about how he's been by himself, and ever since Bruno left. I think that he's had to make hard decisions, like voting out William. I think, he's been kind of playing a solo person game here, and that's not an easy thing to do. And so for that reason, and he's done it with his head held high and his morals, and cat. And yeah, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be disappointed, although I do think like Ika and Demetrius have played a better game throughout the season. So you didn't really see Kevin's dial turned up until the middle of the season. So had Kevin been like this the whole time, I may be more like, go Kevin. But at this point, I'm just glad that like, Jackie, Dre, William, all those like Dylan aren't in the, like at this point, like at least it's a good fault like roster. And I was telling, sorry, I'm on a tangent. I was telling some friends about how, I haven't been like as loyal in the end. I always kind of like when you're the last 4, the last 5 people in the house, I kind of teeter off. And they were like, oh no, but like this is like actually like a really good group of people, and you should be watching like every day, and all the feeds are so good and everything like that, because it's been so good, and like the really the best of the best is left, and it's a good season when that happens. So even if Ika goes out, even like it's still going to be good in there. And like, everybody's at least playing with like, I feel like the nastiest person people being in there is Karen right now with her Kevin Martin, whatever. But like the reality of the situation is that's just like annoyance. Like I don't actually think she has like vindictive feelings towards Kevin at all.
No, I don't either. At this point, Ika made a good point on feeds the other night before feeds went down. I don't know if you guys saw this, but she made the point of saying, like, to Kevin that because Karen had to go to the DR or something, I think,
Mhm.
and Kevin's like, oh, I don't know why she just doesn't like me that much. And then Ika said to Kevin, she's like, I don't think it's that she actually doesn't like you this much. I think it bothers her that, like, you guys don't have any type of connection. And she thinks that, you don't like her that much. And for that reason, she's playing up the fact that, like, she doesn't like you. And I think that's a good point to make. But, like, in the same sense, you're put in a house with uh, 16, it was 16, right?
Yeah.
16 people. You're not going to like everybody, and you're stuck in there. You can't really escape them. Like, because when comps are happening, like, the backyard is shut, and then the inside of the house is shut down, and then the backyard is shut down, and then the inside of the house is shut down. So, like, you are confined to really close quarters with these people, and you're forced to interact with them in order to survive in this socially charged game. And so I'm not surprised. I would probably be the same way. I would probably, seriously, I don't know that I'd be able to hide the fact that, like, I just don't have a connection with somebody. Like, I probably might be the same way as Karen. I don't think I would be half as funny as Karen's been. She's honestly in the season had the best one-liners. And I was saying that she should win a BB Can award for the best hashtags, because out of all the house guests this season, the best hashtags that are out there about BB Can 5 include Karen. So I don't know. I think that all the 4 house guests that are left have played their piece in the puzzle. It's just it's really sad to me that Ika's going and is not even a contender for a winner. But
I know, and it's just it's tough too because I think we're kind of skipping ahead, but we are in spoiler town. Like, for Demetrius to win veto, sorry, HOH, and then Kevin obviously went up, and then he wins veto, and then it makes him have to force his hand and put Ika on, and like it's at his HOH that his like best partner in the game is going. Like that's not an easy thing, and that's always the risk you take. Like he had, like at this point, it's just numbers, right? Like it's literally numbers. So there's nothing like had the shoe been on the other foot, it would have been happening to her too. But the reality of the situation is, it's just kind of a dirty situation, and it sucks. And I think he is, he's playing with his head, but he's also playing with his heart, and I think that's hard to, be at the hand of that. And like Kevin gets to have that like moment. And whether he chooses to keep Karen, I highly doubt it. That would be the stupidest mistake. And at that point, like he should not win Big Brother. But my gut is that he's gonna ask Ika to leave.
yeah, I think so too. And that's
But
before feeds cut. That was
I was just gonna say she's holding her head up so high. Like she's been such a class act this time around. Like just like I'm just really enjoying her as an individual. I think she knows she's gonna walk out of this and like she'll probably win like Miss Congeniality or whatever it is, like Canada's player or whatever. I don't know what that is. And you know what?
we don't have this player though. Only the states have that.
They have some kind of something, don't they? We don't have any kind of thing where you win like like nothing.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Oh well, that's stupid. We
I
think
know. I know. We should have. We should tweet that out. That BB Can, in general, should have Canada's favorite player. That we could vote for Canada's favorite player, so that at least they're walking away with something. Because in this case, we're going to see a final 2 with Karen, who will walk away with. And she knows this. She's playing for second right now. She's going to walk away with a check because she was playing for second.
how much
And
does second win?
I think it's 20,000.
Oof.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Like 3 months, like as a super fan, because she's a super fan. She plays for 3 months.
It's the experience, the fame.
It's the experience. She's a real estate agent, so she gets that aspect brought into her business after the fact, and then walks away with this $20,000 check. Like that's a pretty freaking sweet deal, especially coming from a super fan. Like, but in the same sense, Karen, like she has been playing. She's tried to win these competitions, but God love her, she hasn't been able to. It's not like she has just been sitting there not trying like we see other players do. She has legitimately been trying. It's just like, God love her, she can't win. And I don't know. I'm happy though, from this respect for Karen, that's a lady of her age and her demeanor and her stature, really, like having two grown children, has come into this house and just played like with her head held high.
Yeah,
And like she's done a really good job of being a good representation of this demographic, and that
agreed.
uh, they shouldn't be voted out always in the first couple weeks. Sometimes they have more to offer than what's realized. And she's done a really good job of assimilating into a very much a younger crowd this season. And also being a little of the underdog because she was a newbie, and doing a good job of getting through that and just using her hashtag Karanoia to work to her advantage and just have people think, oh my God, Karen, she's paranoid again. Oh, she's on a rant again. And as much as that might have been just being stuck in that house with these people, it was a smart strategy to play if that was strategy for Karen. If she comes in the final two speech and says, listen, I wasn't that paranoid. I knew what was going on the whole time. I used that as to make people think that I didn't know what was going on, when really I was on the pulse of the house the whole time I was playing. If she comes in with a speech like that and really impresses the jury, you never know. She might be a contender to win. You never know. Who
It's
knows?
true. It's true.
Especially if there's that bitter jury, because right now, as we saw in our jury, what is it? Vlog.
Nice. You did good.
Yeah, even though I really wanted to say vlog, but anyway, in our jury vlog, we saw that Netta made another controversial comment. It's out there on Twitterverse right now. She had said that Dimitris is the lapdog of the season. That's how she described him. And who knows if it's Dimitris and Karen in that final two? Will Netta, because I think Netta, I'm not sure if she's kind of like bitter towards them for the whole Ika getting her out, or if she's just like seeing parallels, which I don't really see at all, of her and John's game, where she played this super strategic game and then the person that ends up winning the comps ends up winning it,
Mm-hmm.
when the other person has been the strategic pulse. And that's really how her mind works. Big Brother really is that she's more a gamer versus a comp beast kind of. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Rooting for a comp versus rooting for somebody that's been strategic the whole time. And so I wonder if Dimitris and Karen in the final two, if Netta will have that sway to say, hold on, I know he's been really good at comps, but what have you done other than win comps
Yeah.
to game?
No, she's
What
smart.
decision?
I think she's been, for me, like in watching the jury things, like I think like at least she's been kind, and I think she's been really accepting of other people coming back into, like, I think she's fine. Her reputation's going to be fine coming out of this. I think it was shaky for a while, but she'll be okay. But I do think that if she's able to sway them, I'll be surprised. But I think like it depends. Like, you don't know. Like, your point about Karen like really flipping it up at the end could be pretty impressive. Like, if she went and she was like, yeah, like this whole time, like I've been coming to you and like crying and whining and whatever. That was my strategy. That was my strategy to make sure that you all were on my side, and it got me here because I never had an alliance. I was never in anything. I was by myself the whole time, and you might think I just floated my way here, but I know all of you, and I know all the games that moves that were made. I never went stray. I was with you. Like, she could really like flip it, and that could be amazing. I don't know, but I do think like most times people just vote for the person that like worked the hardest. And if but Dimitri's like Cindy said it too when she was in the car with him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you have a reputation of riding coattails.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like they're looking at this from playing the game 2 times. What have you done like in this game that has been your strategic decision? These house guests that are left in that jury, they want to see the strategy in your game. They want to see how your mind worked in the game, not just how your body worked in the game to get you
Yep.
there.
And she didn't
So
win HOH not once, did she? Oh, she did at the beginning. She won HOH. And that was it. That was all she won. So
yeah,
we'll
who
see.
knows? The thing is that Karen's kind of been in the past couple evictions, we've seen Karen come out not only being to the deciding vote, but being the swaying vote to get Kevin rethinking. Oh shit, should I take Ika down? Because Karen's gonna vote out Ika, and that's not what I want. So I've got to take her down. So we've seen Karen kind of push her agenda of what she wants in the game forward, and
For sure.
kind of deciding factor on this past couple evictions and Kevin HOHs. And who knows? You don't know. You never know. Karen might come out and she might win part 2 of if
Because
it's like something of the HOH, and then she's in that final freaking questionnaire on the scale, and she might come out the final HOH winner, and then what?
that'd be
And then
amazing.
that changes your argument completely, doesn't it? If she
Yeah.
gets the HOH when she needed it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to play out now. I'm just, if Kevin ends up getting the final HOH and he wins out in the end, that's impressive. That is pretty much has me convinced he deserves to win because he's won out when he's needed to. The only thing that it just bothers me that he is in this game still. He would not be in this game if William didn't use that secret veto on him.
Yeah, but that always happens. They always have some ridiculous twist to make it like when Gary comes back and he almost won it, they always do that.
I know, but it still bothers me. But
I hear you.
I mean, if he had got secret vetoed and then not done anything, then then I would have been like, what the H? But he's kind of proved himself that he wants to be there. He's studying his ass off. Contenders to win now. I just wish Ika was left in the running. But who knows? We don't know what Kevin's decision was. He might keep Ika because he might say, there's no way that Karen is going to keep me. And who knows between Ika and Dimitris, if it does come down to them, if they'll keep each other, who knows? I think they would. Do you think if Ika stayed in the game and she won, she'd take Dimitris with her?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think Dimitris would take
Yeah,
her?
I do.
Yeah, I do too. But you never know.
I just think they're too ride or die. It's different. It's different because it's just different. I think they actually when John and Netta they were friends and it was we're partners, we're this, we're that. But the reality is these two are crazy about each other, and that's it's so funny. You play this game, and it's obviously you go in with I'm gonna be so strategic and I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna be ruthless and blah blah blah. But the heart is the heart, and it doesn't even matter if you're not kissing someone. You're human, and people. I think, and people will disagree with me, and people have in the past, but I think people are innately good, and I don't think people want to be malicious or nasty to people just to be nasty. And I think that this is the game of Big Brother. What we're watching is human condition locked in a house. What will you do? That's the game. So. And then they poke at your buttons and they try to say how will you react if, and that's the whole game of Big Brother. That's why it's amazing. It's putting mice in cage. Will they bite each other or will they not? That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Unlike Survivor, and Survivor's kind of the same way. It's just you're out in the wilderness and you have a lot more room to move and people aren't watching your every single move. The reality is it comes down to, are you a good person or are you out for yourself?
Yeah, it's true. The only difference between Survivor and Big Brother, though, as we all know, and we kind of say it every week, is that Big Brother and all the reality shows that are out there, the reason that I stay loyal to it is because it's the most true to real life reality that you're going to get. It's the least produced that you're going to see if you watch
Yeah.
feeds, because you see the raw dimensions of these relationships by tuning into feeds. And even if production has like put together a story a certain way, they're
Mhm.
still putting it together from like actual live like documentation of
Yeah,
how
you're right.
these house guests have been living. So,
But do you think that, like,
and
just a weird one-off question, but like, don't you think that, like, when they were in the HOH room, like, they would ask them like questions to kind of like, just like when those survivor contestants are sitting on a log in the woods, like, they would ask them to repeat it. They would ask them to kind of like say certain things. Like, it is produced. Like, don't forget, but you're right. Like, it's much more stripped away than other shows. Like, it is. So I'll give you
yeah,
that.
like for sure, the DR is the only kind of influence that production has to try and get in these house guests' head. I'm sure they're like saying, well, don't you think that if you do this, then this will happen? Or don't you think if you do that, then this will happen? Like, I'm sure they're running scenarios and mind fucking them to a certain extent in DR.
For sure.
I don't know because I haven't played it, so don't sue me, Big Brother.
One day, Melissa, one day
But
you'll get in there.
who knows? It's if Big Brother Canada lasts that long, right? Like,
I don't know. I
who
think
knows?
it's definitely coming back next year.
Yeah, I think it was signed on the next 2 seasons last year, but I can't recall. Do we have any questions in the chat room tonight, or
Not
are we
tonight.
kind
It's been pretty quiet.
of okay? Yeah, because this is usually the point in the show that we gossip and we go to questions. In terms of gossip on the Big Brother front, I haven't really, not that I can recall, I haven't really seen much. Have you seen anything on Twitter you want to talk about before we go?
No, not really. I think I'm just excited to see what happens this week.
Yeah, me too. I have a friend in town this week, it's so funny. She gets here from Toronto on Wednesday, and then she's leaving on Friday. And as you know, the last 2 episodes are on Wednesday and Thursday. So I have to try and convince somebody that doesn't watch Big Brother and that I haven't seen in months to watch Big Brother with me. So
Who is this friend you speak
I'm
of?
sure
Do I know them?
she starts with the K.
Oh, very private. I'm sure she'll be cool with it. She's
I'm
nice.
sure, but she's
Just
probably
give her
gonna,
your kid to
what the heck?
entertain her.
Well, they'll be sleeping at that
Wake him
point.
up.
I'll feed her with alcohol because
Wake him up.
the finale's 2 hours long, so I have to subject her to a 2 hour finale.
Like a
Anyway,
movie.
whatever.
Give her your iPad.
It's too much.
What night is it?
I'm sure she'll be
Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know.
Wednesday, Thursday. It's happening. Thursday, it starts at a special time at 7.
Ooh. Thursday's
7 to
the
9.
only night this week that I'm free, so hopefully I can watch it.
I hope so. It's going to be good. And then we'll reconvene for our final show with Lindsay and I after the podcast to figure out, like, talking about finale and stuff, like, after the fact. We'll probably do it after the weekend that all the former house guests have in Niagara, so that our next episode we can kind of talk about all the Twitter action that happened on Twitter, because
Can't
that's always
wait.
fun to talk game. Huh?
I said I can't wait.
Me neither. I'm such a stan for that Niagara weekend. I fully admit it. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for this week of Final Four BB Breakdown 902. For anyone that joins us live, thank you. And for anyone that joins us after the fact, we always appreciate that support. And we will be tweeting out when our last breakdown is for this season of BBCAN 5, which has been debatably one of the best seasons that I've seen of Big Brother Canada. This season has been. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been good.
So we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.